It's draft day. No, not the movie. It's our 4th annual Guardians Prospect Draft. Who will build the better team, show the system's depth, weaknesses, and sleepers? That is starting on today's episode now.
You are Locked On Guardians, your daily podcast on the Cleveland Guardians. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Guardians fans and baseball fans all around the world, wherever you are? Thanks for coming and hang out with us for the next half hour, because it's our favorite half hour of the day, and I hope it is yours as well. We get a chance to talk Cleveland Guardians baseball with you for the next half hour, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We cover your team, your Cleveland Guardians, every day, from the majors, the minors, the draft, and everything in between. If you are new here, I'm Justin Lada, one of your 2 co-hosts for the last 4 years and counting. And I spent 19 years as a prospect writer and editor covering the Guardians farm system.
And I'm Jeff Ellis. I've been here since Locked On expanded into baseball nearly 8 years ago. Before then, I was a national writer at Scout 24/7, focused on prospects in the draft. I want to thank you for making today's episode your first listen today and every day, wherever it is that you get podcasts. So as a big shout out to our everydayers, our insiders, our commenters, everyone who helps this show grow and continue to get larger. We're at almost 6K followers on YouTube. If you are not currently subscribed and you're watching, consider subscribing, hitting that bell, all that fun jive. You know what to do.
Or if you have multiple accounts, do that too. That counts the same for us. We appreciate it. Shout out to, I believe, Philly. That was a great comment today, talking about how much they enjoyed the show. So we appreciate Philly's comment. And shout out to Matt O, who says he listens to the show on his way into work every morning, passing the stadium. He says it feels like the opening of Major League. So we appreciate Matt O for that as well. Today's show, very simple. It is our 4th annual Guardians Prospect Draft. Hard to believe we've been doing this 4 years, Jeff. We'll each look to draft the better team of Guardians prospects, and we'll be able to go over where the Guardians farm system seems to be deepest, shallowest, and what players could be a sleeper. The rules are simple. We do a snake draft, which we'll spin for in a second, and we have to fill out an entire team. So each of us has to have a catcher, a first baseman, all the positions. We do a utility spot, 5 starters, and 2 relievers. And the best part is you, the fans, the listeners at home, could tell us who had the better team, or you could draft along with us and see who you would have picked along in that time. This episode is brought to you by MLB The Show 26. Visit MLB.theshow/lockdown. Use code LOCKDOWN to get a pack in Diamond Dynasty. MLB The Show is available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. It is rated E for everyone. All right, Jeff, let's just get right into the fun. So we're going to show right on air who is going to get to get the first pick. It's a snake draft. That was the vote in the comments. So unanimous vote. Yes, they like this the snake draft, so we get to screw each other a little bit more. So the wheel of doom, and of course off air I got the first pick, but on air Jeff is the winner. So I'll just pencil in Travis Bazzana now for you at the first pick, because there's no reason not to, right?
I mean, I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping to have the 2nd and 3rd picks in this draft. I will go ahead and I don't know. Part of me is like, I've been team injury every year, and I'm like afraid. I think I had Bazzana last year, and like part of me is like that. You know, part of my mind is, but like, you got to take
the top overall pick.
I'm gonna hurt him. Prospect, you know, right? I don't want to be the. But here's the thing: if he gets hurt again this year, then this is 100% my fault, because it's 2 years.
It is all Jeff. It is all Jeff. But yes, yeah, Jeff had take Bazzana last year.
And I'll keep it relatively short and sweet. 1, he's our top prospect. 2, you know, as much as people complain, there's not a lot of up the middle depth. Like you're going to take probably Genao with this next pick, because after that, there are no other shortstop. Like shortstop, second base, and third base, infield depth in this system is pretty poor. So yeah, it's I got to take one of those positions. Like I think it's easier to find a catcher right now that I find who's at least kind of interesting than to find, and it's really easy to find an outfielder, but it is hard to find up the middle talent. So yeah, I'll take Bazzana 1. I know it makes it sound like, oh, I'm stuck with him, but or no, I'm sorry. I will take Vontae Mack number 1 because of your reference to the show.
Yeah. Make the call.
But no, I'll take Bazzana here.
Yeah, so this is the back-to-back year. Obviously, Bazzana is the first overall pick. It's our 4th year. The first pick in the first draft we ever did was actually Bo Naylor, and then the second year was Ralphy Velazquez at catcher, which obviously didn't stay. And then last year, so this is our first repeat number 1 overall pick. And yeah, this is going to be a lot easier when I have 2 picks in a row. Actually, I think I'm happy for this. So the first one for me is easy. I'm actually going to take Ralphy Velazquez because Ralphie's my number 2 prospect behind Bazzana right now. That's who I have right now is behind him because I think he has the best upside as far as a bat. Like there's no better bat in the system besides Bazzana, but Bazzana also adds, a better position and he adds speed and defense. Well, I shouldn't say adds defense, but the defense is more valuable than what Ralphie is. Bazzana could get to average defense. Ralphie's no slouch himself, but I'm as excited about Ralphie's bat as I am anybody else in the system. So he is easily my favorite to build around in this spot. And then the my second pick has to be Angel Genao because honestly, you're right. Like this, it's getting pretty rough in terms of middle infield prospects in the system. Like, who else would you go with up the middle at this point? Like,
you got Brito, you got Hill, you got Welbin, our names that people talk about, Dean Curley.
And neither of us is very high on Welbin. So, there's Dory Fernandez. You can get Dory. Yeah. So, easy to go there, those 2 picks. So, all right. So, now Snake means you have back-to-back picks, right? Or no?
Yeah, so let's keep the team injury thing going because I have 4 players in tier 1, so Chase DeLauter is easy because I have 4 players in the tier by themselves. Those are the 4 players that we have mentioned. So team injury is continuing its right tradition here.
You also had DeLauter last year, just so you know.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, no, I but here's the thing: his injuries predate me, so I don't think blame on him.
I had actually this is going to be the 3rd time in 4 years you've had DeLauter. I had him in 2024. So you know what? It's literally there's no jinx on that one. No. It's just Chase DeLauter. He just is unfortunately. He's his own team injury.
And then with some of the pitching depth and what we've kind of talked about here, it's like
if you take who I think you're going to take, Jeff, I'm shutting this down. I'm shutting the draft
down.
Well,
I mean, there's a player available here who's your number 2 overall prospect, so I have to take Khal Stephen at this pick.
I will turn this podcast around. Don't make me turn this podcast around.
So Khal Stephen, he is my 3rd-rated pitching prospect, but the fun of this is intentionally hosing each other. So I was kind of hoping you take Stephen and I'd get one of those infielders from earlier.
I couldn't. But
instead, I'll just go ahead and take the last guy from tier 1, and then I'll take your guy. I mean, I respect your opinions a ton. I respect your beliefs a ton when it comes to prospects. I mean, I have my point of view, but you are the person I respect the most when it comes to the Guardians. So I gotta trust you. And you're talking about he might be the 2nd best prospect in the system. So it's only because I have such respect for you.
I lost all respect for you for making that pick. How does that sound? I have no more
that's
respect
fair.
For you for sniping me. No, I'm excited about Khal. I saw Jesus Genao from Baseball America actually had a chance to see him on the backfields in Goodyear, which if you've ever been to Goodyear, if you know anything about the Guardians facility, it's I'm sure he's on a watch list now for getting into that facility. Like it's not easy to get into Goodyear on the backfield. So Jesus Genao, I wish you the best, my friend, but thanks for sending us the footage. And no, I'm really excited. I think it'll be fun to see him in Akron, and I think there's a very good chance he's in the rotation at some point this year, or at least making his debut. So yeah, there's no middle infielders left. Like I don't know who I'm going to take at second base. It's pretty bad, but pitching is much better. And if you're not going to take Braylon Doughty, then I have to take Braylon Doughty with my next pick because I know the only reason I have Khal Stephen ahead of him, honestly, is because of proximity to the majors. And I think safety, like Khal Stephen seems like a safe floor arm. I know I've said in the past that I am trying to get away from that mentality of ranking safe higher, but the ceiling is so high for Doughty. There's athletic ability. There's 2 breaking balls, strike throwing. Like it's hard to ignore how good he's going to be.
He hasn't even pitching that long too. So it's like he's a fresh arm
right
on top of all that.
And the makeup's off the charts from what we hear too. So like, yeah, I mean, he's easily, I could be wrong. We could be sitting here talking to reviewing this podcast in September and saying, no, Braylon Doughty for sure is the best pitching prospect in the system. And I don't think it would be a surprise, which maybe this was the long con, Jeff. Maybe I set you up this whole time, Khal Stephen ranking second, so you wouldn't take Braylon Doughty. What do you guys think of that? There's your tinfoil hat moment, Jeff.
The problem is neither of them were my number 1 pitching prospect in the system. So it's still
it was Parker Messick.
It was
right?
Messick, was still number 1 for me.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough now because like I could take another pitcher, But now I'm like, ooh, do I go outfield? Catching is not that big of a deal at this point. You know what? I am going to go pitcher. I am going to take Parker Messick because he still qualifies as a prospect. He'll pitch today, I think, or this week. They split up him and Logan Allen, and we'll see what that happens. We'll have more on that in the coming days, how that ended up. And yeah, I think Messick's got a great chance to be in this rotation in April, May, by the end of the season. I think there's no doubt about it. All right. We'll see how Jeff feels about the fact that I finally took his top pitching prospect off the board. We'll see who can build a better team, who can expose the system's weaknesses, find its sleepers, all that fun stuff coming up on the rest of today's Locked On Guardians. I'm excited for MLB The Show to come out every single year, and I'm thrilled to be talking about them as a sponsor for today's show. The greatest game in baseball, it is back. The newest installment. Baseball fans, I know you're going to have a hard time pulling yourselves away from this game. Take control of the Guardians in your franchise. See if you have what it takes to bring home the World Series for the Guardians. You can extend Stephen Kwan, Kate Smith, make some trades, get those rookies up. No service time manipulation. If you're a gamer, baseball fan, you want to enjoy America's pastime in a new, exciting way, you're going to love MLB The Show 26. Play as your favorite team, those franchise players. See if you have what it takes to win the World Series. Visit MLB.theshow/LockedOn. Use code LockedOn to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Internet connection is required. MLB The Show is available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, as well as Nintendo Switch. Baseball, the way it should be. Rated E for everyone. MLB opening day is almost here. Can you feel it? It's a fresh start with big expectations, and we're all excited for the first crack of the bat and that AL Central Division race. They'll probably go down to the wire. Nothing like being at the ballpark for it. The only problem is getting tickets, especially on opening day, can feel like a grind. You got surprise fees, prices that jump at checkout, and that is where there's Game Time. It's the app that gives the advantage back to fans like you and I with constant innovation, and it's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It is simple to use. Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price, and the best part is the fees are included in the price you see, so what you see is what you pay, period. I use the Game Time app for all my events, last second baseball concerts, get the best price when I want. 2 taps and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, great seats and minutes. Makes it easy to hit up any event and Guardians games last minute. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account. Use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Join the Everydayer Club right now with code MARCH. Get your first month free. If you sign up before the NCAA tournament tips off this Thursday, you can compete against everybody on Locked On, including us in the men's and women's brackets pools on Discord. The winner is going to get $100 in Locked On merch. The rest of us can all commiserate in members-only chats as our brackets blow up, as I'm sure mine will. Member of the club, you get ad-free versions of Locked On Guardians, all free this month with code MARCH at LockedOnGuardians.supercast.com. All right, let's get back to the draft. We'll show everybody on the on YouTube watching this. We'll share the draft board as things go along. So, Jeff, your top pitching prospect is now off the board. You took mine, and you've got Bazzana, DeLauter. I've got Ralphy, Angel, Genao, and I have Doughty and Messick, and you have Khal Stephen. So you have 2 picks coming up here.
I do. I have 2 players left from tier 2. I'm going to start with my utility player, and I'm going to take Cooper Ingle. He can play catcher. He might be able to play some outfield, some stuff like this. And then I'm going to take Jacob Cozart as my catcher.
This just violates the spirit of the it violates the spirit of the experiment. Because
don't you think Cooper Ingle could play catcher or outfield? I think he could even potentially play somewhere, like first base. I think he is a player who fits that utility role perfectly. We talked about how he may not be a great defensive catcher. Maybe that role for him is playing all over. He was a catcher and outfielder in college. So
because now I have no chance to get a catcher.
You think Bennett Thompson, my number 3 catcher in system?
Yeah, I have no chance to get a catcher. So you're not building the best team. You're not taking your best prospects. You're just trying to take it off the board.
I took one player from tier 3 instead of tier 2. But
I guess what you're doing is you're exposing the fact that the system has a lot of flaws, that if you take 2 catchers, there's nobody else to take.
I mean, I have Bennett Thompson in the 30s. I did like him. I was intrigued by him a year ago. So it's not as bad as in years past, but you probably don't like him as much as I do.
I do not. No.
Yeah.
I can sort of cover for that later in the draft. I mean, I don't think you're crazy enough to take another catcher and
don't bet on that.
If you then you won't win the experiment. I don't think anybody's going to say you have the better team, but I mean, I'm not taking Bennett Thompson. I can't take Bennett Thompson at this point. So I need an outfielder pretty bad at this point. I'm taking pitching, so I need an outfielder. So, I don't love the outfield options, honestly, in this system. Like, I'm trying to think of, I need to consult my list and see.
I've got 2 of the top 4 players left are outfielders to me. So I would say Chourio and Uniker, who I have in the next 4 are 2.
Yeah.
So I'll help out in that way. But then I will say, devil's advocate, depending on how you feel, not far down, you got Valera, you got Watson, you got Rosario, you got LaViolette. You get outfield is weirdly a place. I'll be nice instead of, I shouldn't talk you out of this. I should encourage you. I'll be nice though and say, like, weirdly, there is a lot of outfield depth.
There is. I guess this probably says more about how I feel about Chourio than the outfield depth. Like, he is the next prospect on my list as far as outfield's concerned. Like, if I went strictly by my list, actually, no, he's the next player on my list because you took Engel off the board. Mm-hmm. So he's the next player on my board. I'm taking the next highest guy. But I guess my reaction kind of says it all. Like, I just don't know if I believe in the hit tool. I don't know if I believe he can play center. Like,
he was a top 5 pick a year ago, wasn't he? One of the first 5 players off the board. Like, you and I were both really sky high a year ago.
He was the second pick. Yes, yeah. He was your second pick. Yeah. I mean, I guess we gave him a mulligan last year because he was dealing with the shoulder issue. I just think, like, there's passivity, and I don't know if he can play center. So, like, there's a lot of things there. I'm not happy about this pick, but hopefully he'll make me look stupid and say, yeah, you got a great pick there. So, but
the Naylor situation is what we're hoping for, and not a Lavastida situation.
Yeah, there is outfield depth. I could go with other guys. You know what? Like, second base, there's not a lot going on at second base. Like, I don't really want Juan Brito here. I guess that's the second best guy to take at this point. I'd love to see you try to shoehorn Juan Brito in some other position.
Left field.
First
base.
I mean, he does count. He has played other positions. You know what? Screw it. I will throw a curveball, and I will go with Uniker Caceres because
high on my board for sure. So you're going 2 outfielders here.
Yeah, I just think that, like, I'm going to balance it out. Like, I'm also skeptical of Caceres. He's like the antithesis of Jason Chourio. Like, he has an aggressive approach, but he's also super young. Like, you defended him the other day saying, like, this team doesn't send prospects his age to the affiliated levels very often. So I'll buy that, and people are excited about him. The exit velocities are okay. So I guess I'll see how that plays out. So I kind of like my outfield so far. Like, it's not like there's no sure bet, but it's interesting name wise.
Yeah, I was higher on you than Uniker, so I'm not going to complain. And Chourio was definitely, those were both in my spot. The one guy I had left from tier 2 was Joey Oki, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with him.
That's fair.
It's like I just like what we saw. He might be a reliever in the end, but he's really fun. And then honestly, I am going to take Brito and put him at first base because there's not a good first base option up and down these lists.
Yeah, that really hurts me, and you're right. That's true.
But there's not a lot. Who else who would you take? Honestly, if you're looking at first base, like I look at this, I'm not sure there's anyone in the top 30 that I have as a first base.
Nolan Schubart, obviously.
Not at top 30 for me.
Not Nolan Schubart?
Nope. So Brito, I believe in the bat. I think he can handle first. So I'm taking him here as the highest rated hitter left on my board, who can also play a position of not much depth in the system. So it is kind of screwing you. But it is also as well. It's like, I had him 13th. It's not like this is, we've had multiple players on board. Cozart was a straight me hosing you situation, but like this is an actual value. I only have one player higher, and it feels really unfair to put that guy on team injury. But if you don't take him with your next 2, I guess I will.
Oh God, I'm afraid to even ask who that's going to be on team injury. If you, I don't know, we might be banned from doing this experiment next year if this goes as badly as it has in the past, injury wise. Is it someone I really like? Is it someone everyone really? Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah, there's only one guy. There's one guy.
Yeah, there's one guy. There's only one. There'll only be one. No,
there's two high injury guys left on the chart.
Yes, I just thought of that. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna make my next 2 picks when we come back. I got to fill out pitching. I got to fill out my out. I got to fill out the rest of my infield. We both have to take 2 relievers. So we'll see how that goes. All right, we got more to come on the 4th annual Guardians Prospect Draft. Let us know how you feel about our team so far. Who has exposed the system's depth and who has found sleepers and upsides. More of that coming up. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you could put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You could buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply the knowledge. Now I can take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app today to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. College basketball is nonstop. It's about to be, with big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. We're going to have early tip-offs and late-night West Coast shootouts. There's always action on the board. FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into an even bigger potential win with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Build any college hoops parlay you want, whether that's going to be the matchups, the underdogs, whatever it's going to be. All you got to do is pick those out, apply the profit boost, instantly bump up the potential payout. My Zips, they are 7.5-point underdogs, Texas Tech. The 12-5 is a very common upset, so I think I'm going to play that one as well. And the Guardians, I checked their win total still at 78.5 over-under. I'm still smashing the over on that. I think that seems like an easy one there. Go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season long. It's your parlay, your style, with now more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. If you are enjoying this content, you haven't yet hit the bell on YouTube, please do so, because you would get notified of any time an episode goes live, whether it's this or a reaction to a game, news, anything like that. And if you auto-download all your favorite audio platforms for podcasts, you can take us to the gym, walking your dog, on the plane, wherever you're doing. We could talk Guardians ball wherever you're going in life. And check out the Insiders Club, too. We text daily with the community and drop news, rumors, ask for mailbag questions, which I'll do this week. We'll do another video chat before opening day, and then you get some bonus content there. It's joinsubtext.com/LockedOnGuardians. All right, what are you going to say?
We go ahead and just take Franklin Gomez. We know that's coming.
Why are you trying to name drop my picks, man? When I did fantasy baseball drafts, I used to hate people that do that. Like, all right, so reset the board. You've got Bazzana, DeLauter, all the injury guys. I think Brito was out last year with injuries too, so actually he counts. Khal Stephen was out. Yeah, Cooper. Yeah. Well, Cooper Engel did get a ball below the belt that kept him out of last year, so that's fun. Khal Stephen missed time with an injury last year.
Oki had some slow start due to injury, right? Or was that just his?
Yeah, that was just slow start. I don't think I had anybody injured last year. I had Genao, so he was injured last year.
He missed some time.
Chourio missed time too with the shoulder, so we both kind of got our
welcome
injury
to this
sections.
minor league system.
Oh God, that really is. Yeah, we talked about it. You know what? We talked about the major league level yesterday. Like that was all our whole show Monday, right? Was talking about how is it going to follow them all season long? It's the minor league system too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what?
Gomez didn't have any health issues, so go ahead and take Franklin Gomez and Daniel Espino right here.
He will starting this year, won't he?
Yeah.
You know what? All right, I will take Franklin Gomez. I have to because he's the next guy on my board. I have to stay true to my board, and I think I'm more excited for Franklin Gomez than I think anybody else is besides the Guardians because obviously they traded for him.
It was a great trade. Great trade.
Yeah, I mean international signing money for that, and I think he's got it. Like he's got the athleticism and the mix, and the control is the one thing. But I think he could be a starter. So I'm super excited for what that could be for the future. I gotta go through and fix these. Was that my 7th pick? Yes, that's my 7th.
Yes, that's your 7th pick.
Yeah, I didn't sign up to do math on the show, but here we are. All right, so I could either continue my pitching staff, or I could find another outfielder or a utility guy at this point. The next guy on my board would be a pitcher, or I could go with an outfielder and just keep playing this game. You know what? I'll take all the weird outfielders. I'm going to take Jace LaViolette. Like, this is another injury guy, and I don't know. Like,
Outfield is kind of full now.
Yeah, I'm mildly interested to see what happens with him. I'm not mildly. I'm very interested to see what happens here because this is a very weird pick. Like, this is the second outfielder the Guardians have taken in the last 4 years where there was buzz about him going 1-1 the year prior, and then injuries hit, and they didn't. Well, I mean, more than I guess the injury didn't really impact LaViollette's fall. It was more the strikeouts, and then the injury came late. But nonetheless, okay. So my outfield's Phil. My outfield's got a lot of upside and not a lot of floor, so that's fun.
Well, I threatened it, and I'm going to follow through. I took Daniel Espino as a reliever here. He's just too high on my board to not take. It's just that situation. I don't think he's a starter anymore. I think he's a reliever. Though, a reliever doesn't always fix everything, because the nice thing when you're a starter is it's just every 5 days. Reliever, sometimes it's multiple days. I think sometimes we think, put him in the bullpen, everything's going to be fixed. That's not always the case. It's a different type of stress, but it's stress nonetheless. Right. And then when I'm kind of looking at this and trying to figure out where I want to go, I have 3 pitchers in a row. And then I have some outfielders that I kind of like, but I don't feel like I have to rush an outfielder. So I'm going to do a weird one here. I was up and down on this player, but I'm going to take him as a third baseman because it's a very weak position, and that's going to be Dean Curley.
Oh, God.
It just there's
not me, Smalls.
There's not a lot of great third, and it's like guys you can even consider for the position. There was a point this year.
There's not a lot. There's none, Jeff. That's it. That's literally it. Like it's Dean Curley. That's it.
You can maybe consider. Well, I don't want to hose myself, so I'm not going to say anyone. But there's some other guys to consider and some other players who could possibly maybe shift in there. But there was a point last year where I thought, this is maybe a top 20 pick in the draft. Defense was awful. It's shortstop. The bat really regressed. But there's traits and tools, and I have him and LaViolette basically ranked back to back. Like, I don't see a lot of. There's different flaws, but he doesn't have LaViollette's ceiling, but there's a bit of a safer floor. So it comes down to lack of position. He is one of the first guy I'm taking from my 4th tier, but it just comes down to the fact that, like, I've got a bunch of outfielders in tier 3, and I can kind of wait because you filled in those spots. Even if you were to take one as your utility player, I still feel good because of the crazy outfield depth and system.
Yeah. I'm not jumping at a reliever at this point in the draft. Like, I'm trying to build the best team I can. I'm just going to fill it in because it's getting ugly as far as the infield. Like, it just doesn't matter to me at this point because none of them really excite me. It's probably less than what I was excited for with Jace and Chourio. So I think I'm just going to stay true to my board. Like, I guess I skipped Espino.
That's why I took him.
One,
even though
I did skip him. So the next guy on my board is Yorman Gomez, and I think there's a chance Yorman Gomez is your spring breakout game starter. So he should be interesting. I mean, there's a chance he's up in this pitching staff at some point in 2026. I think he could be in the pen, he could make a start. Like, wouldn't shock me at all. He's already on the 40. I wonder if he'll pass. Like, he's going to start in AA, and Khal Stephen should start in AAA, I think. But because Gomez is on the 40, like, does he get to the majors faster than Stephen? Like, I don't really know. That's an interesting debate, I guess, to be had. So I filled out I have one more to go in my rotation. I'll stay true to the board, and want to know what? I will take my first reliever. I'll take Andrew Walters. Why not? Look, Andrew Walters has not started throwing live bullpens yet. He's throwing bullpens. He hasn't thrown a live hitters yet. That's not going to happen until later this month. So we're not going to see Walters, I think, until I don't know, mid-season, June, maybe. But hey, that might be a nice pickup, right? If he comes back to the majors and joins this bullpen, like if someone's struggling or gets hurt, like that could be a nice pickup. So I'm going to take Walters because he's the next guy on my board, and I still believe in him. As long as he stays healthy, I still believe in the arm.
Yeah, absolutely. Outside of one of the elite relievers in free agency, I don't think you can find an arm better than Walters if you had even tried in free agency. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Just talk about sticking true to the board. I'm going to take Josh Hartle. Like, he has a gap between him and the next player on the board for me. He's just a player that you and I both believe in as a chance as a back end starter, lefty, good stuff. With Walters being off the board, now it's the part of like internal debate. Do I look at outfielders? Do I look at starters? Do I look at relievers? I'm gonna go off board again just to build a better team. I don't even know if he necessarily stick at shortstop, but I'm gonna take Luke Hill and put him at shortstop.
Damn you!
Just because I don't have a better option, and I like the outfield depth. Like when I'm looking at it, it's like I have Valera, I have Rosario, I have Watson. I like Nick Mitchell a lot. Like there's so many outfielders that I can kind of play the waiting game now. So I went for the highest rated guy on my board, and the next highest guy rated was honestly Peterson. And then, I've still got some other pitchers that I like as well. So I just felt like I have to hit shortstop because there's no shortstop depth with this team. The infield depth is so bad.
That's why I've been waiting at this point. There's no point.
And I just didn't I'm not big on Welpin. So
yeah, I'm going to have to take him that you took Luke Hill, because that's who I was going to take to fill in. Like I don't have a second baseman. I don't have a third baseman. So that's who I was going to take at some point, but I was going to wait. So it is what it is. So let's see. If I stay true to my board, the next guy would be Chase Mobley. I already filled out. Well, I guess I could take him for my rotation, but I don't really like that pick. So I guess I'm going to cheat and go off board. You know what? I'm going to take next guy up I have is Khalil Watson. I'll put him in my utility. I don't know. Like everyone says he had a good camp. Like, everyone is going to say, there's never going to be a time where Steven Vogt says, yeah, this guy was terrible in camp. He looked terrible. Like that's never going to happen. He's just going to avoid it, or no one's going to ask the question. So we'll see what happens. Like it's been a little better this spring. I still am leery of the numbers, but on my board, I still think he's the next most interesting hitter.
You've got a good defensive alignment out there with Watson, I think LaViolette, and potentially Chourio. There's ways you can run it around where your defensive alignment's going to be really solid.
Yeah. And then I took Caceres already. Next up is Rosario. I'm already full on outfield and utility. Then I went ahead Curley. Then I went ahead Halpin. So the next guy for me is Franco Aleman. I don't know. I'll take Franco Aleman just to stay true to my board here a little bit. This could be like a prospect fatigue guy, right? Like he's been healthy. He's been hurt. He's had other issues. Like at some point he's got to make his major league debut. They're gonna have to trust him at some point. And I don't know, he could surprise us. Like he's been higher on our list before. So, I'm willing to see if there's still a chance that he becomes a mid reliever, but he might be an up and down guy.
Yeah. So with the way things are shaking out, you
still need 2 outfielders and your starter and reliever.
Wait, how many starters are we doing?
5. You have 2 more to go.
Yeah, 2 more to go. And you have 1 more starter to go, right?
I have 1 more starting pitcher to go.
So I'll start with Austin Peterson. I've always been a believer and a fan. He's a back end type. He's the highest rated player on my board. So I'm going to go ahead and throw him in at this point. And then if I'm looking at my own list, I've got 2 kind of interesting starters. So I'm not going to necessarily jump there. There's no more relievers for you to grab from. I'm going to take Rafe Schlesinger as my second reliever.
Fair, yeah.
It just gives me a righty and a lefty, and he's kind of in this range, and I feel good. Like I've got 2 starting pitching guys I can go to. They feel pretty good about, and then a whole mess of outfielders. So I'm not concerned with the outfield, at this point in time. But I am going to add to team injury with that pick. I'm just going to go ahead and warn that now.
Yeah, I guess at this point I am forced to take Welbin Francisco. I'm going to put him at second base. Like he was in my top 30, and you know what? He was also hurt last year. He was dealing with some stuff too. So like maybe he'll come back and be a little bit better. I don't love the approach. I'm not sure he's going to. I am at second base. That's fine. He can play second. I don't think he can play short, but I think it's fine. I mean, we'll see. We'll give him a mulligan on the year. Middle infield is light, as you've seen by this experiment. So I still have a starter to get on this. I could go back up to Chase Mobley. Will Hines is in my top 30. We got to move this along in interest of time. Let me throw one off the dartboard here, and let me go with – no, I'm not going to go that route. I was going to go that route. I'm not going to go that route. Oh, yeah. I have to get a third baseman, don't I? I have to pick someone to play third base in this godforsaken infield. Christian Knapsick, I guess, is my only option at this point. You know what? No. I won't do that. I will throw Dory Fernandez over at third base. Like he's an interesting guy on a lot of people's lists. He's not really like a guy I'm sitting here talking up big, but a lot of people like him. So you know, I'll give him a shot. He's a third baseman. He can play third.
Then I'll take Will Hines. Right, that's both your picks. Yeah, so I'll take Will Hines to be my last starter. You know, part of me was very tempted to like try to shuffle things around and take Dylan DeLucia because I've been high on him, but as a reliever, and I have both my relievers are technically starters, but I like the idea of a righty and a lefty in the bullpen. That might just be me being ridiculous there, but I'm going to take him and put Will Hines. And then I'll go ahead and take, let's take another team injury mascot. Let's take George Valera as one of the outfielders. Yeah. He is my highest rated player on my board right now. So, you know, might as well go ahead and put him in as one of the outfielders on this very team.
Yeah. Who was your pitcher before?
It was, Will Hines.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you went with that or not. Okay. All right. So I have a starting pitcher to go and a catcher still. At this point, it's still starting pitching. I don't know. There's a lot of guys I could have gone with at this point. I don't really love any of my options. You know what? I guess I'll throw Caden Favors out there. Like, there's some.
That's a good one. I do like that.
Yeah, that's a dartboard throw. There's some people who really like Caden Favors. I don't think like he's as high as everybody else thinks he is, but maybe that's a guy who could do something interesting. And then I'm going to round it out, and I'm just going to go with Cody Huff as catcher. Like, I don't think he's going to be a starter, but I think he's got enough defense to be a backup. The exit velocities are good. Like, we've heard really good things about exit velocity with him, but he just can't get the ball in the air. So I'll go with Cody Huff as my catcher, who can be a future Austin Hedges, maybe. I don't know.
My big debate is like, is this just come down to, best overall team? It's like, do we care about center field?
Yeah.
So, because none of my guys like throwing Chase DeLauter in center field. Like, if this is a head-to-head matchup, like if this was head-to-head, I would probably take Nick Mitchell here because I know he's a real center fielder. But since it's not, I think I have to take Alfonso Rosario, who's just sitting there waiting for me, and is my highest rated player. He's the last player left from my third tier, which means my three highest players left overall are Peyton Platt, Nick Mitchell, and Dylan DeLucia that no one took.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our teams. We are all filled out there. I will post that on Discord, on the subtext group. I'll post it on YouTube, and we'll throw it out there on social media. Let us know how you think we did. Let us know if you liked our picks, hated our picks. We'll take whatever we can get at this point, honestly, in reviews. We'll be back tomorrow with some roster news and some projections and some new rules to talk about, Jeff.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you all for joining us, and go Guardians, go.